We welcome you into Columbia for AAC men's basketball action inside the Moore Fitness Center. Cade Crenshaw with you on the CIU Sports Network as we are set to bring you Truett McConnell and Columbia International facing off tonight in a matchup of two of the best big men this conference has to offer. For Truett McConnell, it's their veteran senior leader, Inoka Frankie, leading the AAC with 9.6 rebounds per game to go along with over 13 points. Meanwhile, for Columbia International, it's the young sophomore, DeAnthony Heathcock, fifth in the conference at 8.7 boards a contest to go along with 11 points. Heathcock wins the first foul of the night, getting the tip-off. Now we'll see the Rams offense in motion. Jalen Brinson, Darian Oates, Skylar McKinney, Bryce Causey all joining Heathcock in the starting five. Backdoor pass to Causey, up and in. Bryce Causey, the High Point, North Carolina native, fresh off of a 12-point performance in the win at Kentucky Christian, gets the Rams on the board early on. Now for Truett McConnell, one of their best seasons over the last few years, 15 wins already. We just saw it on the interior. Frankie backing down. Heathcock got a good set of post moves to work himself inside the inner circle to tie the game up. McKinney from a cross-court pass. Can't connect. Crashing the rebound was E.J. Brown. Kelly, the speedy point guard. Not there. Frankie, though, the offensive board. Putback just rolling off. Brinson trying to lay it up for Heathcock, left it a little bit too far behind him. That results in the turnover. Brown stripped by McKinney. Brinson trying to do the bounce pass behind the defender. Kind of topped the ball a little bit. Didn't go as far as he wanted to. Now the third turnover here early on in this first quarter for CIU. Frankie calling for it. Wanting to own this game, and he does just that. Inoka Frankie, the Cameroon Africa native, getting it done early, scoring all 4 points so far for the Bears. .12 to shoot for the Rams. Heathcock on the elbow, picked up his dribble, has to find an open teammate, now with 5 on the shot clock. Finds McKinney, streaking into the paint. The runner's up and through. Brent Kelly, the Gainesville, Georgia native, averaging almost 5 assists a contest. Tries to drive inside himself this time. Meanwhile, Jalen Brinson whistled for his first personal foul and first team foul in the first half. Frankie wanting to win the battle on Heathcock early, just rattling out, but he's there for second chance efforts. Early on in the battle of the big men, Inoka Frankie is by far winning the battle, but will he win the war? Trying to work around Heathcock for the steal. He's whistled for the foul on the reach. That's Frankie's first, and Truett McConnell's first team foul. Heathcock heading to the sidelines early, and Coach Tony Stoutman frustrated with his start. We see the true freshman Christian Howard stand in. Howard just outside the post. What a set of moves from Christian Howard, but Frankie comes down on top of him hard. And head coach Tony Stoutman is not too happy about the no foul call. Frankie went up for the block and just came down on top of Howard, who's still down on the floor. We'll take a break. 16:42 left in the first half, all tied up at 6 from Columbia on the CIU Sports Network. Back here in Columbia, 16:42 left in our first half, all knotted up at 6, but we're just coming out of an injury timeout as the Rams freshman forward Christian Howard, after connecting on a bucket, was fouled hard by Enoka Frankie. The winner for the deflection really just came down on top of Howard, now being helped off of the court by athletic training staff, not putting too much pressure on his left ankle. We'll get an update from head coach Tony Stockman possibly at halftime. Back to the action. Tied up at 6 here early. Both teams pounding the paint. Talking with Stockman pregame, he said this would be a game on the interior. Frankie trying to break down his defender. Whistle for the travel. Fresh into the ball game for the injured Howard is Thomas Wolkowiski, the Argentinian native. Oates and Brinson, two-man attack to beat the press. Inside to Causey, wide open though in the left wing was Darian Oates. One hop, now two. Rebound poked away, brought down by Brown in transition. On the other end, Smith cannot connect on the three-pointer either. These two teams separated by just 2 games in the conference standings. A win tonight could prove huge for either down the stretch. For Truett McConnell, they're in a 3-way tie for 5th place right now at 11-7 in the AAC. Meanwhile, for Columbia International, they're just on the outside of that 3-way tie, sitting currently as the 8th seed in the conference with a 9-7 AAC mark. Frankie, who has all 6 points for Truett McConnell early on. 5 to shoot. Kelly driving, deflected by Brinson. Back into his hands, 2 on the shot clock. That one didn't hit rim either, and it will be a shot clock violation. The Rams step up their defensive intensity to force a stop and forced 3 misses before the buzzer. One substitution now for Truett McConnell. Frankie heading to the sidelines with an early 6 points, as Corey Seitz, the sophomore from Cumming, Georgia, stands in, averaging a little over 5 points a game to go along with 3 boards. Brinson up with the left hand. Seitz grabbing the board. Inside to Brown in transition. And that ends nearly a 2.5-minute scoring drought for the Bears to go back up by 2. Oates outlet pass to Brinson. Wolkowiski calling for it in the post, trying to back down Seitz. Turn around with the right hands, too strong. Step back jumper up and through for Brent Kelly, his first bucket today. Now Truett McConnell with their largest lead to date at 4 points. Pass to McKinney, poked out of bounds, last touched by the Rams. 4th turnover now here in the first half for CIU early. Brinson to the sidelines, in steps the true freshman Jalen Jeter. Meanwhile as well, Causey checks out. It's Thomas Woods, a senior veteran of Akron, Ohio, getting his first game minutes. Across the way, KJ Riley now out for Truett McConnell. And we see an illegal screen. Quickly, it's Kafuba Tori. Whistle for the illegal screen, fresh off of the bench. Not the start he wanted. That'll be his first and second team foul. Oates just 2 games removed from a 48-point performance at St. Andrews. Gives way to McKinney. Now drawing the double team. The freshman, Jeter, wide open underneath. Jalen Jeter just stepped foot on this campus 6 months ago. but has really proved to be a key role player for Stockman's squad, using his speed and athleticism, averaging over 16 minutes a contest. He goes up and grabs this rebound to work in transition, picked and stolen by Torrey. Foul by McKinney heading to the basket, and Torrey still down. Kafumba Torrey, the junior out of Miami, Florida, slow to his feet, as it's McKinney picking up his first and team's second foul. Torrey steps to the line, shooting 53% from the stripe this season. Fresh face to Truett McConnell after transferring in from Trinity Baptist College. Torrey's first free throw up and good. Two for two from the strike is Torrey. Once again, the Rams face a 4-point deficit. Oates pump faked out his defender. Now it's 5-on-4. Driving up and in. Just pinballing out. Boy, the crowd got on their feet thanks to that footwork from Oates, but just couldn't finish. Kelly ran into three bodies before seeing it fall out of bounds and stay Truett McConnell possession, with 12:32 left in this first half. Inside to Seitz, working around the back door for the reversal. McKinney looking to spin on Torrey. Kicks out to Woods, opposite corner. Cleared out by Kelly. Truett McConnell leading by 6. Still early on in this first half. Backside to Riley, deflected by Wolkowski with a late whistle. Wolkowski picking up his first personal and now the third team foul for Columbia International. So we see KJ Riley step to the line. The Greenville, Mississippi native, transferring in this past offseason from Alcorn State. Riley shooting 70% from the stripe this season. Jeter and Wolkowski head to the sidelines for Columbia International as Howard and Brinson return to the lineup. Causey replaces McKinney as well. As Riley sinks his second free throw, going 2 for 2 on the trip. Quick substitution in for Truett McConnell as Brent Kelly steps aside. We see Akil Covington, sophomore transfer from Emmanuel College, for the first time today. Howard driving up with the right hand and through. Good to see Christian Howard back on the floor, but he took that scary fall earlier on. Still appears that his ankle may be bothering him some as he just sprinted up the floor. Now an offensive foul off the handoff. Covington tried pitching it over to Torrey, almost like a quarterback and a halfback toss, but in the process tried setting a screen as well. The feet were still moving. That's Covington's first and third team foul. Down by 6. Can the Rams offense find some fluidity? Oates step back Jay from the elbow. Riley climbs the ladder for the rebound. Torrey driving and is headed the other way. Back to back offensive fouls drawn by Thomas Woods. That's Kafumba Turi now with 2 tonight, still in the first half. But just as Turi heads out, we see the return of Inoka Frankie, a senior out of Cameroon, Africa, who started out this game red hot, scoring the first 6 points for the Bears before stepping aside after he picked up an early foul. Inside to Howard, up and through. Christian Howard out of Medina, Ohio, went to the same high school as Rams head coach Tony Stockman at Medina Senior High. Now playing for one of the school's best alumni. Stockman, of course, going on to play Division I college basketball at Clemson as well as Ohio State. And now the third consecutive possession resulting in an offensive foul. Frankie whistled for the charge. And just as he stepped on, Frankie steps off. Corey Seitz returns to action. Meanwhile, KJ Riley checks in for Brown. But Howard so far has played well on the post with 6 points tonight. Timeout taken from Columbia International. 10:27 left in the first half. Truett McConnell up by 4. We come back here in Columbia on the CIU Sports Network. Back inside the Moore Fitness Center. And as early on as we thought it would be, we have an exciting matchup here in Columbia. Truett McConnell on top of CIU, 16-12, with 10:27 left in our first half. These two teams really going back and forth, shooting the ball extremely well. Both teams shooting over 40% so far. The difference maker here as of late, 3 consecutive possessions for Truett McConnell has resulted in offensive fouls. Brinson straightaway 3, pinballing out. As Woods crashed the boards, it's Arias Ortega popping it out of bounds. Return of C.J. Brown, now back on the floor for R.J. Bryant. Nope, quick change. It's Arias Ortega checking out. Causey saw an opening in the lane and took it. Bryce Causey now with 4 points. Cuts the deficit down to 2. Columbia International trying to get one more defensive stop. Seitz sees his shot, kissed nearly every inch of the rim before falling through. That ends nearly a 2.5-minute scoring drought for the Bears. 18-14 our score. Truett McConnell on top. Brinson's pass out of bounds, but before it went out, Bryce Causey whistled for an offensive foul on a hold, trying to hold back the defender according to the referee. That's Causey's first and 4th team foul for CIU. Covington working on Brinson. Quick whistle on Brinson. That's his first and 5th team foul. Covington driving hard and in. Akil Covington, a sophomore out of Athens, Georgia. as we continue to see Truett McConnell sink shots from the field, now 5 of their last 7. Can they make it? 4 made baskets in a row. 3-pointer off the mark from Riley. But containing the offensive rebound is Bryant. Seitz leaves his interior shot short. Oates kick over to Causey for a big-time 3. Couldn't connect on it. Truett McConnell head coach John Ye now in his 9th season at the helm of the Bears. Driving hard was C.J. Brown. Woods got a handle on it. On the other end, Oates driving and finishing. Darian Oates, the junior out of Goldsboro, North Carolina, just a week removed from tying the CIU single-game scoring record with 48 at St. Andrews and a 123-117 victory. Have to be careful if you're Truett McConnell. If you let Darian Oates get hot, this one could get away from you quite quickly. Speaking of Oates, he's going to pick up a personal as R.J. Bryant drove to the basket. Thomas Woods heads to the sidelines now, or soon to be after the first shot. 7:32 left in this first half. Bryant, sophomore out of Jacksonville, Florida. Shooting 50% from the line this season. A trio of Rams step onto the floor. McKinney, Jeter, along with the return of DeAnthony Heathcock, who picked up 2 personal fouls early on. Meanwhile, as well, we see Brent Kelly, starting point guard, back out there for Truett McConnell. (22-16) our score. Bears on top. DJ Smith in the place of Bryant following the made free throw. Brinson trying to facilitate the offense. Three to shoot. Jeter from 3. You betcha. Jalen Jeter with the trifecta. Cuts the deficit in half, and the Rams trail by 3. Kelly trying to re-cushion the lead. Short range jumper too strong, but he immediately leaps up for the steal. And for the rim rocker is C.J. Brown. Lackadaisical passes and mental mistakes like that could cost the Rams down the stretch if they're not careful. Back down by 5. McKinney from the straightaway. 24-22, Truett McConnell, as the Rams have sank each of their last 3 shots, including 2 from deep. Driving on Causey is Riley, and Riley wins that battle. We see a timeout taken by Truett McConnell. 6:07 left in our first half. Bears on top, 26-22. We'll be back for more first half action. We return to the Moore Fitness Center on the CIU Sports Network. Just over 6 minutes left in our first half in Columbia. Truett McConnell holding strong as much as they can to a 4-point lead over Columbia International. But here as of late, it's been the strong onset of the Rams offense, sinking each of their last 3 shots, looking for 4 in a row on this possession. Jeter going to draw the contact from C.J. Brown. That's his first. Truett McConnell's 16th foul. .20 on the shot clock for Columbia International. Jeter, quick pop three. Up and through. Jalen Jeter, now with 8 points, makes this one awfully close. 26-25, Truett McConnell with 5.5 to go. Kelly driving on Brinson, no call, shot left short. Sights the offensive board, second chance rolling off. McKinney, a tough shot. Rebound snagged by Brown. And a wide open Corey Sights. As tall as he is at 6'8", that pass was intended for a 10-footer. From Brent Kelly, just way too much under as it sails away. Darian Oates now in at point guard for Jalen Brinson and Columbia International. Oates, coast to coast, up off the glass. Shot waved off for a charge. Darian Oates picks up his second personal foul. And the 17th foul for CIU. 4:50 left in our first half. Brown looking to back down McKinney. Off the mark, Heathcock soars in for the rebound. Oates nearly stripped away by C.J. Brown. Looked to roll off the fingertips of Oates. Referee says it is Rams basketball. Bryce Causey, Jalen Jeter, D'Anthony Heathcock, Darian Oates, and Skylar McKinney. The 5 white jerseys on the floor for Tony Stoutman's squad. One dribble jumper for Jalen Jeter. Now in double figures with 10 points. Gives Columbia International a 1-point lead. Truett McConnell looking for their first points in over 2 minutes. Kelly finding the lane, swatted away by Heathcock. Heathcock came out of nowhere to redirect that shot. Now underneath, going for the slam, was poked away, but Oates able to recover the possession. Out to McKinney for 3. Out of bounds, it'll be Rams basketball. Truett McConnell just trying to find some type of an offensive rejolt, missing each of their last 4 shots and making just 2 of their last 10. There needs to be some type of a spark in the Bears offense, looking for their first points in 3 minutes. Trying to give way to Enoka Frankie. It's out of bounds, and it'll stay Bears basketball. But Frankie here today has been very limited. Started out this game scoring the first 6 points for Truett McConnell, and since has been really held back with 2 personal fouls. Arias Ortega fresh off the bench. Pull-up jumper from short range, knocks it down. Truett McConnell back on top. 3 minutes left in this first half. Whichever team can have the stronger finish could prove vital across the final 20 minutes. Brinson swarms in to save Causey's lost dribble. Shot in the air, too strong. Howard crashing the offensive rebound. This shot sailing away. Stolen off of the knee from Brown. It's Causey in transition. Sidestepping defenders, up and one. Bryce Causey with a chance at a three-point play. As Brent Kelly trying to draw the charge. Instead, whistled for the defensive block. That's Kelly's first and 7th team foul. As Causey steps to the stripe, shooting 58% this season from the line. A sophomore of High Point, North Carolina. Up and through. Rams on top by a full possession, 30-28 with 2:20 left to play in the half. Frankie trying to get back hot. Jumper will fall through. A senior veteran is really a key piece in the offensive machine for head coach John Ye's squad. Howard trying to find the bucket. Is going to draw the contact and get a trip to the line. Truett McConnell looking for the offensive foul as E.J. Smith hit the deck. That's his first and 8th team foul. Howard, a 53% shooter from the stripe this season. His first trip today. One substitution, it's McKinney stepping in for Jeter with 1:51 to play in the first half. Howard misses both, and we remain tied at 30. Elias Ortega off the screen. Down low to Frankie. Spin move won't fall as Howard clears out the rebound. His 4th of the day. .12 to shoot for the Rams. Howard backing down Frankie, up and in. We talk about a freshman and Christian Howard playing against a veteran all-conference senior in Enoka Franklin, and so far it's been Howard who's winning the battle. Down low to Kelly, backdoor, up and in. .24-second difference between shot clock and game clock. 20 to shoot for the Rams. All tied up at 32 in the final minute of the first half. Oates looking in from the corner. Goes down low to Howard with 5 to shoot. McKinney for a buzzer beater 3 off the front iron. Causey, though, grabs the offensive rebound. And now just 1 second separates the shot clock from the game clock. The Rams can hold for the next to last possession, if you will. Now 5 to shoot in a tie game. 3 seconds left. McKinney in the air and through. What a way to finish the first half. Skylar McKinney with that last second shot to do it. The Rams take a 34-32 lead into halftime, and now the Rams kind of conversating, thinking there might have been some contact there that the whistles weren't blown for. Referee still conversating. They haven't left the floor, but now both teams heading to the locker rooms as that signals halftime. Rams up by 2 at the break. We'll speak with Rams head coach Tony Stotman. We come back on the CIU Sports Network halftime show from Columbia inside the Moore Fitness Center. down here courtside with Rams head coach Tony Stoutman. Coach, you head into the locker rooms up by 2 at the break. Take me through your team's progression there in the first half. You're down by 8 at the 12-minute mark, and you battle back to take the lead.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough first half. Great defense on both sides. I mean, you see the score. It was a battle. So just trying to figure it out. I mean, they were making the entry passes hard for us, so just trying to figure out how to get a flow with our offense. And I think we did late in the half, and then we got some easier shots and some rhythm shots. It was better.
You get a lot of productivity off your bench. Howard with 10, Jalen Jeter with 8. How can their key roles in the second half continue?
Yeah, we need them to continue to be big for us. Then Thomas comes off the bench, and then Tommy did as well. Like, we need that bench production to help us. Those guys, those starters can't play as many minutes, even as they did that first half. So it's going to be tough to finish strong. So we'll see what happens.
Coach, best of luck.
Thank you.
That takes us into halftime. The Rams up 34-32 on top Truett McConnell in AAC play. Back with you for second half action. We return to the CIU Sports Network. And we welcome you back inside the Moore Fitness Center for second half action. Columbia International coming out of the break here at home, leading Truett McConnell 34-32. We look back at that first half, and the biggest production for the Rams came off of their bench in the role of two freshmen, Christian Howard with 8 points and Jalen Jeter with 10 at the break. Those two, your game's leading scorers. Meanwhile, across the way for Truett McConnell, it was the role of Enoka Frankie early on, who started out this game scoring the first 6 points for the Bears, but he would be held to just one bucket for the remainder of the first half as he finishes right now with 8 heading into the final 20 minutes. Inside to Heathcock, turnaround shot, rolling off the front of the rim. Rebound snagged by Frankie, his third of the afternoon. Arias Ortega driving in, nearly losing his shoe to tie this game up at 34. Jalen Brinson, Bryce Causey, Skylar McKinney, De'Anthony Heathcock, and Darian Oates. The 5 white jerseys on the floor for Tony Stoutman's squad. Heathcock loses his handle. Now in transition is E.J. Smith. Kick over pass. Brent Kelly for 3. Frankie grabbing the board. Second chance efforts fall just short. But Kelly swarms in to grab the loose rebound. And now a shot initially looked to be deflected. Now we hear contact. Bryce Causey, the guilty party, picking up his first. And the team's first foul as well in the second half. C.J. Brown of the stripe, the redshirt sophomore out of Miami, Florida. First free throw up and good. Brown, a 55% shooter from the free throw line this season. And just a minute 20 seconds into this game, just a minute 20 seconds into this second half, D'Anthony Heathcock heads to the sidelines as Christian Howard, who saw a majority of the first half minutes down at the post, back onto the floor. Second free throw nearly went out of bounds. Indeed it did. Last touch by Columbia International. It'll stay Truett McConnell basketball with a fresh 20 seconds on the shot clock. Inside to Frankie, working on Howard. Spin move up, deflected by Howard. It'll fall out of bounds and stay Bears basketball. 11 seconds to shoot, 18:29 to play as we just get the second half underway. Truett McConnell ahead by 1. Smith off with a screen. Short range jumper through. A 5-0 run to start this second half for Truett McConnell. Howard trying to work down in the interior, and just like that, Christian Howard now with double digits tonight as he backs down Frankie for the bucket. The 10th time this season Howard has hit double figures. Frankie, double teamed by Brinson and Howard. Finds Brown on the perimeter. Three-pointer not there as the rebound's corralled by Oates. Oates lifting a runaway floater as we see some emotions running high on the floor from Christian Howard of Columbia International. Freshman obviously frustrated after being fouled going for the rebound. In his place is Thomas Wolkowski. McKinney, jumper from the elbow, takes a few bounces before finally falling through. Brinson off the bounce. Back to Wolkowski for the lay-in. The Argentinian native. Meanwhile, on the other end, Frankie responds with a bucket of his own. Three minutes gone by in this second half. Rams back on top by a point. McKinney trying to find College in the back door is poked away by Brown. Now in transition, here's Kelly. But away from the basketball, we see a foul whistle. Skylar McKinney, after we see Brown hit the deck, McKinney picks up his second. And the Rams' second team foul. Arias Ortega back onto the floor for Truett McConnell. As Browns heads to the sidelines. Immediately, Ortega off the bench, drives the basket, deflected by Causey. Free ball in the air for Smith. But it's Turi grabbing the second consecutive offensive rebound. Now a third crack at this possession. Frankie's offensive board, fourth time's the charm for the Bears. Inoka Frankie now with 12 points to lead all scorers. Left wing three. McKinney leaves it off the front iron. Spin move fouled by McKinney. Arias Ortega going to be heading to the line. Skylar McKinney picking up a critical third personal foul. It's going to put him on the sidelines. Still early on in this second half. Raul Arias Ortega, native of the Dominican Republic. Shooting 71% from the free throw line this season. Fresh off of back-to-back double-digit games. Had 17 at Bluefield just in his freshman season. That's his career high. And then earlier on this week against St. Andrews, finished with 15 points in the 47-point win. McKinney and Causey headed the sidelines as Thomas Woods and Jalen Jeter see their first minutes here in the second half. You look at what Jeter was able to do in the minutes he saw prior to halftime. Led all scorers at the break with 10. Jeter off of the Wolkowski screen. It's Woods. With the long-range jumper, Thomas Woods knocks it down. 15 and a half to play. We're tied up at 42. Turi working on Woods. A tough battle inside as Turi comes away with the bucket, his second of the night. Thomas Woods now from the left wing. You betcha. Thomas Woods now with 5 points. Puts the Rams back up by 1. Pass inside to Frankie. Looked to be knocked away by Wolkowski. But the baseline referee saw a slight push as well. That's Wolkowski picking up his second personal and the fourth team foul. Frankie heading to the bench. It's Corey Seitz, the sophomore out of Cumming, Georgia, back onto the floor with 4 points from the first half. Kelly in the paint. Shot left short, out of bounds. It'll be Rams basketball. Columbia International sinking 4 of their last 5 shots, looking to continue rolling in their offensive rhythm. Jeter from the left corner. Cleared out by Kelly off the air ball. Sights on the interior. Backs down Woods, a little too much effort. Offensive charge against Corey Sights. That'll be his second. And now we see a timeout taken by Truett McConnell head coach John Yabe. 14:03 left to play in regulation. Rams up 45-44. We'll be back from Columbia on the CIU Sports Network. Just over 14 minutes left in regulation tonight here in Columbia. Back inside the More Fitness with you, Kay Crenshaw on the CIU Sports Network. Columbia International leading Truett McConnell 45-44 here at home in AAC action. Here tonight, the Rams offensively have played extremely well, shooting right at 50% from the field here tonight compared to Truett McConnell's 40%, going 18-45. Oates peeked in the corner. Bringing back out to Jeter. Now driving hard to the basket. Christian Howard, fresh off the bench, has his second chance efforts roll off the front rim. .11 to shoot for Truett McConnell. Kelly into the paint, pinballing out. Brinson nearly having it poked away, is able to recover. The Rams going to reset their offense with 15 on the shot clock. Leading by a point here at home. Howard with 8 to shoot. Backing down Sights. Left hook in. Timeout taken by the Rams. 12:47 to play. Columbia International up 47-44. Can they continue the defensive stalemate they've given Truett McConnell, holding the Bears scoreless for the last 2.5 minutes? We'll find out when we come back from Columbia on the CIU Sports Network. A back and forth AAC battle here tonight in Columbia. Columbia International on top of Truett McConnell 47-44. With 12:47 left in regulation. It'll be Truett McConnell basketball coming out of the timeout for the Bears. It's Torrey, Kelly, Smith, Frankie, and Riley. The 5 Bears on the floor in their blue jerseys with the gold lettering and numerals. Meanwhile, for Columbia International in their home whites and the blue letters, we've got Darian Oates, Christian Howard, Thomas Woods, Jalen Brinson, and Jalen Jeter. The 5 Rams on the floor. Darian Oates going to pick up his 3rd personal foul here in the second half. 15 foul overall. There's KJ Riley, transfer in from Alcorn State, going to get his 2nd trip to the free throw line here today. And 2 for 2 earlier on in the first half. On the season, shooting 70%. A A pair of substitutions now into the game for Columbia International as Bryce Causey and Skylar McKinney take to the floor. Jalen Brinson and Darian Oates step aside. Riley 1 for 2 on his second trip to the line here tonight. Makes this a 2-point game. Just north of 12 minutes left in regulation. Kind of a great crowd here in Columbia. Can CIU get a come-from-behind win? You look back at the first half, Truett McConnell led by as much as 8 at the 12-minute mark. But it was CIU who stormed back to eventually take a 2-point lead into the locker rooms. And here in the second half, been back and forth ever so slightly. Right now we see CIU sitting atop by a bucket. Kelly moments ago whistled for his second personal foul and third team foul for Truett McConnell. That gives Columbia International 15 to shoot. Turi going for the reach and steal. He's whistled for the contact. That'll be his third and fourth team foul. In for Turi steps C.J. Brown. As it'll be McKinney, inbounds for Columbia International. Backside to Howard, up and in from the paint. Christian Howard now with 14 points tonight, just 5 shy of his career high. Well on his way, in my opinion, to an all-ACC freshman team honoree. Ten to shoot for Truett McConnell. Poking away from Frankie was Howard. 3-ball up in the air off the mark from Riley as he tried to beat the shot clock. There's a shot clock violation with it not hitting the rim. 11:23 left here in the second half. Now stepping in for Kelly comes Akil Covington. Meanwhile, for Columbia International, Jeter heading to the bench with Brinson back in action. The lone point scored by Truett McConnell across the last 4 minutes has been one made free throw from K.J. Riley earlier on. Down low to McKinney from the post. We see a jump ball call underneath. It was Brown getting a hand in there on the block. McKinney never lost control. Possession arrow stays the way of CIU. 14 on the shot clock for the Rams. Causey just outside the paint. Leaves the short range shot short. Truett McConnell finally ends a 4-minute drought without a field goal as K.J. Riley knocks down the mid-range jumper. Underneath to Howard with Frankie all over his back. He works around from the right side, could not connect. Riley with a long two. Just barely. His back foot was on the three-point line, or else that would have given Truett McConnell a 1-point lead. Now the Bears, coming from their bench, seem energized to get another defensive stop and give themselves a chance at the lead on the other end. Woods, missed layup. Now it's a numbers game. Riley along the right side. Another long jumper. This one off the mark. Causey foul on the reception. Covington came in, just really upended him. That's Covington's second. And 15 foul for Truett McConnell. Turi returns to action for Frankie. Meanwhile, Arias Ortega back onto the floor as E.J. Smith steps aside. One small spot being cleaned up on the floor. For Columbia International, we've really seen Truett McConnell kind of go on a run as of late. For the last few minutes, scoring 6 unanswered as Columbia International has been held scoreless the last 2.5 minutes. 9.5 to play in regulation, all tied up at 49. McKinney lost his dribble, and up the floor storms Riley. The reversal from K.J. Riley, now in double figures with 11, puts Truett McConnell up by a bucket for the first time here in the second half. Underneath to Howard. Working down, Turi. A big man move from the freshman, Christian Howard. Turi with the right hand hook responds on the other end. If those two go into a battle, this one will get interesting on the interior. Oates trying to make his game outside, just rattling out. Pass a little too strong for Arias Ortega. Has to settle down and settle for a jumper he can't connect on. McKinney working in front of his defender. On the near side is Brinson. Howard hits the deck as his shot rolls off the front rim. Turi, kick over pass to Brown to put Truett McConnell up by 4. Timeout, CIU. 7:34 left in regulation. Truett McConnell sinking 5 of their last 7 shots to soar ahead with a lead. We'll be back for more second half action when we return to Columbia on the CIU Sports Network. .34 left in regulation tonight inside the Moore Fitness Center. And Truett McConnell with a red-hot offensive streak as of late, sinking 5 of their last 7 shots to take a 4-point lead over Columbia International here at home. Causey, Oates, Heathcock back on the floor, joined by McKinney and Brinson, the 5 Rams. Off of the knee of Darian Oates. It'll be Truett McConnell basketball. Meanwhile, for the Bears, you've got Covington, Turi, Frankie, Arias Ortega, and K.J. Riley rounding out the 5 on the floor. Covington storming towards the basket through traffic. His shot poked out of bounds. It'll be CIU basketball. Darian Oates now heading out. Jalen Jeter back on the floor. Under 7 minutes left. Which team can close this one out down the stretch? McKinney powering inside. Frankie grabbing the rebound. Turi, call that a pass with Frankie on the receiving end. Now with 12 points. Noka Frankie to go along with 9 rebounds, one shy of a double-double. Jeter from the elbow, you betcha. Jalen Jeter now snapping a cold streak for the Rams. Prior to that shot, Truett McConnell had been on a 12-2 run. Covington off the bounce, knocks it down, the jumper from inside the paint. Just a 6-point game. There's not too much space separating these two from the scoreboard. And that rebound, Inoka Frankie once again has yet another double-double. 14 and 10 tonight for the Cameroon African native. Riley working off his defender, Causey. The power inside, 61-53, Truett McConnell on top. Brinson pressured on the outside and drew the double team, but then we saw Frankie come in, whistled for the foul. That's his third, and the 16th foul. Covington checking out for Truett McConnell along with Frankie as Turi and Kelly return to action. Meanwhile, across the way, it's Causey, McKinney out, Brinson and Woods in. Jeter from downtown, shot left short. Tried to be saved out of bounds by both Howard and Turi, but Truett McConnell comes away with the basketball. Brown fouled inside before dishing off the pass. Thomas Woods with a little push on the interior. It'll be his first and 16th foul for Columbia International. One more to give before we see free throws. Both teams are in that situation with 16 fouls. Frankie back into the ball game with Brown heading to the sidelines. Frankie around the screen, couldn't connect. Brinson clears it out. Rams down by 8, needing a bucket as we approach 4 minutes left. And it comes off the hand of Brinson with the runner. Kelly trying to go coast to coast, will dump off to Frankie for a shot just in front of the free throw line to push the lead back to 8 once again. High off the window goes Brinson for back-to-back buckets. However, on the other end, Truett McConnell sinking 4 of their last 5 shots. The Rams really need a defensive stop. Down low to Frankie. Trying to put Howard in the spin cycle. Oates brings down the board. Jeter from the paint, just rattling out. These two teams have battled all night. exchanging leads back and forth. Both have shot 44% from the field. Frankie inside, whistled for an offensive charge. Enoka Frankie now with 4 personals, and that takes one of Truett McConnell's biggest weapons out of this ball game for the moment. Frankie out, C.J. Brown back onto the floor. Also not to mention, Thomas Woods has now drawn 5 charges tonight. That's not something you always see, but a senior vet like Woods is able to work in those moves and recognize the opportunity. He heads to the sidelines now along with Jalen Jeter as Bryce Causey and Skylar McKinney return to action. Down by 6. Howard. Handoff pass to Oates. Deflected by Turi. But now Kelly has his pass stolen by Causey. Up the floor to Howard. Battling through some traffic. Down to a 4-point game with 2 minutes left. Timeout taken by Truett McConnell. 1:54 left in regulation. 63-59, Truett McConnell on top. We'll be back with you in 60 seconds when we return here in Columbia on the CIU Sports Network. We are set for an exciting finish here in Columbia. Under 2 minutes left here in regulation. Truett McConnell holding on just barely to a 63-59 lead over Columbia International. It is Bears basketball, up by 4. Fresh out of the Truett McConnell timeout, Enoka Franklin returns to action with 4 personal fouls. One of the top big men in the AAC, Frankie, with a huge night tonight, 16 and 10. Now referee giving an extra 30 seconds of dead air, if you will, as KJ Riley gets some wrist tape. Along the right wrist might be a slight cut he had to cover up. Nonetheless, out of the timeout for the Bears, it will be Riley alongside Smith, Frankie, Kelly, and Turi. Leading by 4 with 1:50 on the game clock. Kelly driving inside through traffic is going to draw the contact, and that will be the 7th team foul against Columbia International, which brings up a 1-and-1 opportunity at the line. Christian Howard picking up his first personal. Brent Kelly, a 66% free throw shooter this season, his first trip tonight. Critical free throws down the stretch could prove vital. Truett McConnell, 10 of 13 on free throws tonight. Meanwhile, Columbia International have attempted just 3 the entire game, making one of them. Kelly, critical down the stretch with 2 key makes. Frankie checks out, back on the floor, steps C.J. Brown. Brinson, Oates, McKinney, Causey, and Howard make up the 5 Rams out there for Tony Stoutman's squad. Down by 6 points. Under 1.5 minutes to play. Howard trying to work inside. Whistled for the charge. Tony Stoutman pointing to the referee along the baseline. Felt like that should have been his call, not the perimeter referee. Nonetheless, Howard's whistle for his second personal. Frankie back in for Brown. A minute 26 left in regulation. Truett McConnell up by 6. Now we'll see a timeout taken by Columbia International. We'll take it with them. Be back with you in 30 seconds from inside the Moore Fitness Center on the CIU Sports Network. A minute 26 left in regulation here tonight inside the Moore Fitness Center. Truett McConnell on the road in AAC play, leading Columbia International by 6. Our score is 65-59 Bears. And it is Truett McConnell basketball out of the timeout. Turi, Kelly, Smith, Riley, and Frankie, the 5 on the floor for Truett McConnell. Meanwhile, for Columbia International, it's Brinson, McKinney, Howard, Oates, and Causey. Kelly, drawing the double team, finds his open man. Still 15 to shoot for Truett McConnell. Plenty of time to eat away clock. Oates was on the ground, gives way to Riley. Under a minute left to play. Turi grabbing the offensive rebound, and that may be the final nail in the coffin. Eight seconds left on the shot clock. Wide open left side, it's KJ Riley for 3. Off the back iron, Turi going to be whistled for the offensive foul on the rebound. Now the 8th team foul for Truett McConnell will put McKinney at the line on the other end for a 1-to-1 opportunity. The junior out of Marion, North Carolina, hitting 75% from the stripe this season. His first trip here tonight proved successful in his first attempt. The Rams this evening have just attempted 4 free throws, soon to be the 5th for the team. Just rolling off the right side. Foul coming in from Oates to stop the clock with 37 seconds left. Down to a 5-point deficit. If KJ Riley is able to sink both of these free throws, it's really going to make the mountain seem unsurmountable for the Rams to overcome. Riley here tonight's 3 of 4 from the free throw line. Still 1-1. That could be the final nail in the coffin for this one here tonight. With 37 seconds left, Truett McConnell leads by 7. Timeout on the floor, we'll take it with him and be back with you in 60 seconds from Columbia on the CIU Sports Network. The final moments are upon us here tonight in Columbia. 37 seconds left in regulation. Truett McConnell leading by 7. Our score, Bears 67, Columbia International 60. Now it is Rams basketball with McKinney, Howard, Causey, and Brinson set to receive. It's Oates to inbounds. Needing a quick bucket. Brinson drives to the basket. Now 28 seconds remain in a 5-point game. Riley spinning out of traffic, trying to weed his way through 2 defenders. 4 fouls whistled against Oates. That's his 4th at this point in time. And now 10th team foul, which results in 2 free throws for Truett McConnell from here on out. Riley at the line. 5 of 6, now make it 6 of 7 tonight. He's been very strong from the free throw line. Came in shooting just 66% on the season. Back to a 7-point game. R.J. Bryant stepping in for Truett McConnell and C.J. Brown. 23 seconds are left, and time should be added back onto the clock as Causey was tripped up prior to the inbounds. But Bryce Causey on the other end. 1 for 1 from the free throw line tonight. Bryant right back out of the game. Enoka Franklin back in. Causey up and good. Now down to a 2-possession game with 24 seconds left. Turi cannot grab the rebound. McKinney strips it. Shot back up, off the mark. Back in the hands of Turi. Now kicking over to Smith. We see an injury timeout on the other side for Truett McConnell with 15 seconds left. And it's K.J. Riley who is down on the play. 6-point lead for Truett McConnell. Riley now back up on his feet. During that injury timeout, we see Truett McConnell take a timeout of their own. 15 seconds left. Up by 6 are the Bears. We're back on the CIU Sports Network. Back in Columbia with 15 seconds left here in regulation. Truett McConnell leads on the road by 6. Our score, Bears 69, Columbia International 63. With 15 seconds left, Columbia International going to have to force a quick steal, make a quick bucket, and hope for the best with such little time left. It is Truett McConnell possession off the inbounds. Turi with the honors. Gets into Kelly, who got away from his defenders before he's fouled by Brinson. 3 seconds ran off the clock, and on the other end, Brent Kelly is going to get 2 shots from the stripe. Looking ahead on their schedules for Columbia International. Coming up on Saturday, they'll hit the road down to Waleska, Georgia, take on Reinhardt for a 4 o'clock tip-off. Meanwhile, for Truett McConnell, coming up on Saturday, they'll return home and play host to Montreat down in Cleveland, Georgia, with a 3:30 tip-off in AAC play. Kelly makes both. And a quick substitution. It's Covington back on the floor, with Frankie checking out. Just over 12 seconds left. Rams going to look for a quick shot. Now down by 8. Brinson, the floater, off the front iron with 4 seconds left. They get it out to Smith, and that will close us out. Truett McConnell battles from behind, down at halftime, to come back and steal away a win from Columbia International as Truett McConnell improves to 16-8 on the regular season and 11-8 and 12-7 in conference play, with a 71-63 win. Meanwhile, Columbia International with the loss falls to 13-9 on the regular season and 9-8 in the AAC. Until next time, hear from inside the Moore Fitness Center, which will be February the 8th, when the men take on Johnson in AAC action with a 7:30 p.m. tip-off. Until then, from all of us here on the CIU Sports Network, we thank you for tuning in to tonight's matchup between Truett McConnell and the Rams. And until next time, folks, my name's Kay Crenshaw. As always, remember to smile.